Ja, schon in der Vierfach mit der Eckbahn, das ist ein Fachaufgabe mit der Kanal.
Guck mal. Das habe ich gar nicht gesehen. Ich bin so froh, wenn der da kommt.
Champions in two women bobsleighers, Kathleen Martini and Sandra Gemma from Germany. So today we have
Final day of action in Sigulda in Latvia. Round 6 of the BMW IBSF Bobsleigh and Skeleton World Cup. And we are ready for women's bobsleigh to take to the ice once more. Female athletes did not slide in this season opener in Beijing in China, and as a result, they have a make-up race here. That was on Friday. Today, it is European Championship action as well for all of our athletes. We've got 15 sleds in our field. And the European Championship title will go to the top European nation sled. Well, let's take a look at what faces them as ever. 1,420 meters of sinuous ice. It all starts 3 stories up in the start tower. quick view, excuse me, quick view of the track with the start record set by Lauren Alter, Deborah Levy in 2020, the last time the European Championships were held on this track. And yesterday, a brand new track record, or Friday rather, from Kim Kilicky and Leonie Fiebig. The start record remains intact, but the track record again might possibly be under threat this morning. Another day of sliding, a little bit more experience of the current track conditions for all our athletes. Well, there are Kim Kilicky and Leonie Fiebig, the reigning world champions in women's bobsleigh. Reigning European champions from last year's race in Altenburg, Lauren Alter and Nele Stutzen. Melanie Hassler and Nadia Pasternak of Switzerland were the silver medalists, and Kim Kilicky with Annabelle Gallander were the bronze medalists, and Kilicky is going with Annabelle Gallander again this morning. So as you can see, they're coming out fifth in the start list. Mel Hassler with Mara Morel behind her this morning. There have been some break athlete changes among the field. Those who have alternates may well be using them. But the likes of Bree Walker and Chiara Rodingius both going together because they're the team of two. First sled on ice is Bianca Ribi of Canada with Neve Hockey behind her. Finished in 13th place in race 1 on Friday. Friday was her very first race on this track. Neve a 13th World Cup start, as it is for her driver. The getaway in 5:50. Start record 5:21. Through the first few corners, got to try and keep it nice and clean there to keep your starting speed up to corner 4. That's through the beginning of the upper labyrinth, then down through the lower labyrinth, out to corner 10 here. Long left-hander 11 sets you up for the bottom of the track. The exit from 11 into 12 is critical because that defines 13. And how you come off 14, hit the wall, face to the left, go into 15, another straight. This one goes uphill over the outrun into corner 16. Ooh, 2 big waves in 16. Across the line in 51.54. So for Bianca, raced yesterday in the Monobob, and she gains just a little bit more repetition on the track, all right, in a different sled. Back again in the 2-seat sled after racing with Neve on Friday. And the opportunity to get more runs in definitely helps when you're at a new track. You see the sleds out of the guidelines that are cut into the ice to help it run straight when it's being pushed. Before she gets her hands on the steering gear.
They only want to show us the start.
Adele Nichel next up for Great Britain with Kaya Placide behind her. Adele's 3rd World Cup start. We had silver here with Misha McNeil as a brakewoman in January 2022. Friday was her first race here with Willa Gibb. And Kaya from Cardiff, a sprinter and gymnast. Her World Cup debut was with Nikki McSweeney, when she raced in Lillehammer with Adele. Friday finished in 9th place, her best World Cup result out of 2 so far. 5:40 for the start. 10th quicker than Bianca Ribi and Adele Nichel. 19-year-old Kaya Placide, perfect age for grabbing athletes together into bobsled. The 10th up, 900s up. Better speeds though than the Canadian sled out of corner 11. Will tap 12 to 13. And Kaya cannot hang on to the sled. He is out. Adele will have a long and uncomfortable ride. In fact, they are both out. Adele is tucked in under the cow. Those transitions down at the bottom of the track are pretty fast-paced. You see the track workers going down to arrest the sled to stop it rolling back down to the low point in the track. And the athletes not belted in, they're not strapped in any way. You hold on to what's usually a couple of long bolts bent into a U shape. So Kaa is up and walking, Adele is out of the sled as well. And a little early out of a turn, and then that's 11 into 12, rolling into corner 12. And coming out of 14, Kaa trying to hang on. Really uncomfortable transition. 11, 12, 13, 14 is a horrible place for a sled to go, and it's not at all uncommon. Right, take care, Adele. Don't injure yourself again now. Well, that is their journey to Sigulda completed in a less than ideal manner. Track workers will take a look at the marks that the sled has left, slushing in a little bit of ice to smooth the track walls. Be about a 5-minute hold now before the next sled gets underway. And the idea here is to fill in those gouges so that of future sleds, the runners don't drop in and take control away from the driver, because those will not be the ideal drive lines. So just fixing any little nicks and gouges in the ice. Try and make it as smooth and safe as possible. And although those marks are quite noticeable because it is fresh in the ice, they may not be particularly deep. Well, there's the drive lines on the ice at the beginning. They're always cut by a machine, which is completely straight. And there is Adele and Kaa down there as well on the left-hand side with the medical crew. Well, I don't know if Kaa had the joy of experiencing a crash before now, but she can safely say that she is a real bobsledder. It is part of the game. It's like being an ice skater and falling. It's like riding a horse and falling. It's like coming off a bicycle. It is part of the deal. They're not driving here for safety. They are driving here for the ultimate in speed. And unfortunately, sometimes calculated errors are a miscalculation. So Victoria Chenanska of Slovakia with Lucia Makrosova waiting at the start. And while it is frustrating a little, everybody has had this probably a number of times in their career in training or in races, having to wait after a crash, because now everybody has tailored themselves to get to the line at their allotted start time. So everybody will now have a 5-minute delay in their build-up to going on ice. And there's no track where anybody really just wanders out of the dressing room and goes, all right, let's go and do this. It does require a great degree of focus and concentration. And that's before you even take into account the physical exertion of getting the sled off the line. When you're trying to perform your absolute best, you need to be thoroughly focused and ready to go. While Adele Nichel and Kaa Love make their way with the sled back to the sled area. We are getting ready to go again. Third sled, the first heat, race 6 of the BMW IBSF Bobsleigh and Skeleton World Cup. It's women's bobsleigh Sunday morning. And after the crash for Great Britain's Adele Nichel, Victoria Chimanska and Yingqing get underway. 8th World Cup start for the two athletes in the women's bob. And the second trip here for Victoria Chimanska, raced here last year in the World Cup. They get away 5:65. Current leader is Bianca Ribi of Canada. Ribi first led out, Adele Nichel second led out, crashing out in 11, 12, 13. And all the athletes will be aware from training. There were a number of crashes in training. This is a tough track to get the best out of. They'll all be aware where the danger points are. Long skid down the straight from Victoria. Quarter of a second behind. He's not quite as good as the Canadian sled. Across the line she comes. 1800s back. So she brought it back. 51.72. They go a little out of the finish area, but they'll be brought back in. There's the load from Victoria, and behind her, Lucia gets in at the same time. Victoria getting her hands on the D-rings just as those drive lines run out. To have full control of the sled into corner 1. If you don't, you end up losing time on the exit. Out of 14, it'll drift into the wall, and then the tail bounces back off, and the drift continues. As the sled is recovered, Switzerland's Melanie Hassler getting ready to go at the start. The European silver medalist last year in Altenburg. And on Friday, Mel raced to a 4th place finish here. Mara Morell behind her this morning. 6th World Cup race here. Her last 4 results have been at 4th, 2 5ths, and yesterday a 4th place. Got a brand new great woman with her on Friday, was Tuama Kambunji. Mara Morell, though, making her 9th World Cup start. Her first here in Sigulda, in fact. 2 tenths up already, 5:38 getaway. European title up for grabs. Now wanting the best of everything and getting the most experienced athletes to strong in behind her. 2800s up, better speed as well than Bianca Ribi. A little bit on the wrong side going into 16. Top speed at the line and a 51.11. 4300s quicker. Swimming her way in. 4300s quicker than Bianca Ribi. That's not going to give her the opportunity to get in amongst the European medals. Again, these transitions, so important. 11 to 12 is such a tough one. And out of 15 into 16, uphill over the brow. Skids there are very easy if the sled's not absolutely straight. Well, she looks pretty happy with that. Next up, Kiki with Annabelle Gallander. Kiki, the 2022 European champion. That title she won in St. Moritz. She and Annabelle were the bronze medalists last year in Altenburg. And Kim with Leonie Fiebig winning here on Friday. 30th World Cup women's bobsleigh race for Kim Kiki. 25 medals in 30 starts, and her record here, bronze, silver, silver, and then gold on Friday. And a 5:35 getaway. Corner stick. down into the lower labyrinth, 7, 8, 9, and then corner 10 leads you into 11 here. Nice line so far from Kim Kilicky. Oh, say that didn't I? Long skid out of 14 into 15. Long skid into 16 as well. Gets in facing the wrong way. She's got the top speed, but that'll bring the gap right down. Only 1800s in front. Yells breaks to Annabelle. There's Lady Thievig watching from the leader's spot. 35 start, they're being told. And that's what Annabelle wants to hear. And Kim's still limping away. She's still got that calf strain. That's why she stopped doing the monobob, to try and preserve her calf. She's in a lot of discomfort when she gets out of the sled, and that means she's in a degree of discomfort when she's in it as well, which is less than ideal. Well, Kim Kilicky is the early race leader for Melanie Hassler and Bianca Ribi, 5 sleds down. China's Yingqing, 6th and 4th here last year, bronzed in the monobob yesterday. Her best World Cup results have been on this track. Now, could hardly be more different in nature to Beijing, but these Chinese sliders spent a lot of time growing up in their early years in Whistler and Lake Placid, so they're used to rough and tough. Wang Chuan behind her. Wang Yu break for her on Friday. This is Wang Chuan's 16th World Cup start since she made her debut in November 2021. 5:47 getaway, 1200s behind the current leader. Quiet run, little wayward rear end on the sled. She's guiding the front where she wants it, and the back is just doing its own sweet thing, which is less than ideal. 1200s back to 2700s back. Decent exit out of 14 though, and that will stop her losing too much more time. Looks like this will be 3rd place at the line. Just about ahead of Bianca Ribi, just about ahead of Bianca Ribi by 100th of a second. $51.53 for Yingqing and Wang Chuan. Gets her knees caught on the cow, less than ideal, trying to drop into the sled. That's another second of movement of the sled forward where you're not in control. Comes out of the drive lines. Ying only 10th on Friday on a track where she's previously had her best ever result, a 4th place finish. Well, we'll see if she can find a little bit more in the second heat. Katy Bile had Nicola Pichler behind her on Friday. Anna Schenk is back in harness today. Anna raced in Lillehammer in the women's race last Sunday and then was in the Austrian 4-man bobsled in their race on Sunday afternoon. She previously raced for Italy and raced in women's bob and in a few 4-man races there as well. 5:54 the getaway. Best result for Katy Bile on this track, 6th place in November 2020. Beg your pardon, silver in November 2020. Jennifer Onestania behind her there. They were beaten to the line only by Mariama Yamanka and Vanessa Mark. Vanessa racing in this morning's encounter as well. Long skid, passing out of 14. Speed's not where she needs it to be. To be behind Bianca Ribi at the line. She is by 200. So we've got Yingqing, Bianca Ribi, and Katy Bile covered by 300ths of a second. Silver medalist on this track, Katy B. That's her best ever World Cup result. She's got 2 bronze medals as well. 2020 World Cup champion. And in that race 1 in the 2020-2021 season, finished silver ahead of Kim Kilicky and Annabelle Gallender and behind Mariama Yamanka and Vanessa Mark. Next up, Brianna Walker and Kara Rodinguez. Bree raced here just once before, January 2022, finished in 18th place. Yesterday, 5th position. They had a good start, and with Pierre Luders, who you can see who's back, putting the sled into the ice, definitely getting the best of coaching, and Brianna is just getting stronger and stronger and stronger. 23rd World Cup start for the Aussie. 7th in La Plan, 4th in Innsbruck, and then 5th place finishes in St. Moritz, Lillehammer, and yesterday. She is a top 5 fighter all the way, 5:43. Giving away only 800 per second to Kim Kilicky and Annabelle Gallender. Only the 2nd time on this track, Bree has really learned it well. Finding decent speed, it's the top 4 run at the moment. Whoa, big skid out of 14. Straight out of 15 into 16. And only the 6th best speed, 3rd at the line. How far back? 4,800 back. Yeah, leads to the spot pretty quickly there.
There we go.
It's another brisk morning here in Sigulda. And a late exit off 11 into 12. This big skid out of 14. Just a fraction late in that 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 sequence, and it cost you. It's all at the line as well. So Kim Kilicky leads from Melanie Hassler and Brianna Walker. Next up, Olympic champion Lara Nolter with Nayla Skutin behind her. These two are also the reigning European champions. 32nd World Cup start for Lara Nolter. 26 medals, Olympic gold medalist. 2 wins and a silver here and 1 crash. Friday's silver medal was her 25th World Cup medal. Nayla in her 10th start with 5 wins, a silver and a bronze with Lara. 300s up becomes 600s up. While she was complaining about the sled that the brakes were coming out in the Monobob race, and was not happy with the 2nd run either. Much happier now back in her familiar 2-seat sled, and 2nd best speed, still holding the slenderest of leads over Kim Kilicky. And it's not just about these two who appeared on the World Cup scene at the same time. 50.77, 1600s up. We have a 3rd medal contender coming up next as well, in the shape of Germany's Lisa Buchwitz. Then Alana Taylor. And we can't count out Kaa Love, Andrea Greku. And we've got a bunch of possible medal contenders coming up. Late steer out of 14. Brings her across into the wall. And she gets a pretty lucky square tap there. Didn't really kick her into a skid. And then out of 15 on the run-up hill over the brow into 16. Yeah, puts her in on the wrong side, but things to tidy up. This is yesterday's, beg your pardon, Friday's bronze medalist, Lisa Buchwitz with Vanessa Mark. Crashed out of the European Championship race in Altenburg last year. 11th World Cup start as a driver for Lisa Buchwitz. Took gold in the Monobob yesterday. Her Monobob record this season is absolutely exemplary. 4 wins in the mono. 5:27 getaway. If the ice warms a degree or two, we could get very close to a track record breaking start with Buchwitz and Vanessa Mark. At the moment, Paul's just dropping behind Lara Nolter. But when you see her in the Monobob, you absolutely know that this woman can drive a sled. Gets a clean-ish exit there, but the gap is opening up. Might still be in second ahead of Kim Kiki. Doesn't quite have the speed. She's going to drop down to 3rd place at the line. Tied with Melanie Hassler. The 27 start. 27 Vanessa. Yeah. See, as a former push athlete, Lisa Buchwitz appreciates the start as well. I mean, most drivers do, but she's got more invested in it, perhaps, than drivers who never break women to start with. She lives and breathes that stuff. It's all part of what the push athletes do. There's big height in 15. We had to wrestle it a little bit. She's always full of joy and light until the moment I want to interview her, and then she doesn't like it so much. Lara Nolter, Kim Kiki, and then Lisa Buchwitz, Mel Hassler ahead of Brianna Walker and Yingqing of China. That's your top 6. Well, next up for the USA, Alana Taylor. Alana, a former medalist on this track. She was the winner here in 2021-22 season with Lake Quarter. And today she's going with Azaria Hill behind her. New slider Sydney Milani was on the back of the sled on Friday. So, decent start, 5:35, 3rd quickest getaway. And Alana is getting stronger and faster all the time. Nicely out of corner stick. Got to keep it quiet down through the labyrinth into 10. 4th best speed. Clean transition, but a late flop off 14, put her into a big slide. Up into 16, nice and clean. Where's she going to be? Only the 8th best speed. And she comes across the line, 5th fastest. Another big start from Alana Taylor and Azaria Hill. 3rd quickest getaway, 5th fastest at the bottom. Out of 14. Came down a little early. Centrifugal force pushing her up again as the corner was finishing. And a little too much rising and falling from Alana. For Canada, Cynthia Appia tied for 7th place with Alana on Friday. Cheslea Walker then back behind her again. Cynthia's first time here. And Friday was her best 2-heat sled result of the season. It's been a bit of a tough year for Cynthia. 13th, 12th, 15th, 9th, and then tied for 7th. 5:44 getaway. $2,600s back, 1,200s off at the start. And that's off the start of Lauren Alter, not the fastest start of Lisa Buchwitz. Oh, gets that speed out of 14 as well. Just a little late pressure from gravity. And again, tapping and banging the wrong side into 16. Comes across the line, 10th place. 10th behind Katy B. 51.66 for Cynthia. She's going to have to find a little bit in the second heat to match Friday's top 7 result. 10th out of 11 sleds so far. Coming a little early down out of 11 definitely didn't help. Late out of 15 as well into 16, but that transition 11 to 12, that's always a hard one. And that leaves a late into 13, late into 14, late off 14. Top of the track is the USA's Kaa Love, has Emily Renner behind her. Emily raced last weekend with Alana Taylor. 8th World Cup for Em.
Let's go! Go!
Bronze on her debut with Kaylee Humphries, and bronze in La Plan with Alana. And Kaa has a bronze medal already this season. That's from Lillehammer. Crashed on Friday. Let's see if she can get a good strong run going here. Well, she raced to the bronze medal here last year behind her driver Kaylee Humphries. Tenth best speed, and first time driving on the track is always intimidating. Eleventh best speed. Oh! Late off 15. Still a top mix run. Little untidy. And maybe a degree of self-preservation coming in some of the steers. That's what shows there in the leader's box. But a 51.38. It didn't look tidy, but she got the job done. There you go. We did it, yes we did, or you did it. There's on the right, Kaa Love on the left of your picture. Now again, late transition, 10 into 11. That's so crucial for the fast sequence that follows. And got a little late into 11, still late out of 14. Then you get a chance to gather it all up into 15. The late flop from 15 into 16. All right, not the tidiest, but got it done without using your head. She's 300s ahead of Brianna Walker. Now, Andrea Greku with Joanna George back in 2000 claimed a European Championship silver medal on this track. Let's see if she can manage to produce domestic here again. Only finished 11th on Friday. She has Taylor flat behind her again. A silver medalist on this track. She knows it well. 5:45, 10th best start. Finished just out of the medals in the European Championship in Altenburg last year with a 4th place finish. 10th at the start, drifting away to 12th. This is not going to be Andrea's season here in Sigulda. She was so close to European Championship gold back in 2020, beaten by Nadezhda Sergeyeva of Russia. And if I remember right, it was something like 200. Well, she comes across the line in 10th. 51.55. So 10th place ahead of Katy B by 100th, behind Bianca Ribi by 100th, behind Yingqing by 200s. So the opportunity to move up. That's the way that she will see it. Try and find a bit more pace in the sled. Timing just off. Again, you could see her line in 14. Ran out of turn when there was still some corner left. Where a good, fun duo to be around, Andrea Greku and Theodora Vlad. We have one sled left in our first heat, race 6 of the Women's Bobsleigh World Cup. This is Linda Wierzchewski of Poland. Marika Zandeka behind her. Debut season in the World Cup. This is her 6th World Cup start. Best results so far, 13th place in St. Moritz, 2 14ths, a 15th and a 16th. And for Marika, 5th World Cup start. Raced in the World Championships together last year in St. Moritz as well, their first top flight race. Now, Linda was here twice for Europa Cup, crashed the first year, didn't complete the race, and the second season did not race after training. So she had pretty limited experience of this track, got it down in 14th place on Friday. Off best start, but losing a little bit of time. Out to 13th. Her battle really is with fellow newcomer Victoria Chenanska of Slovakia. Victoria with just a couple more World Cup starts under her belt. And they've got similar driving history and experience. 9th best speed. That should hold her in front of Chenanska, and it does at the line, 51.69. So 5:49, 12th best start. They come down in 13th place, but only 300s behind Cynthia Appia in 12th. So that's going to be a tight battle. And they're only 300s ahead of Victoria Chenanska in 14th. So that's going to be a tight battle too. So those 3 sleds covered by the blink of an eye as they head into Heat 2. Out of 14, we've seen worse exits for sure, worse skids. Doesn't quite get straightened up by the wall. We've got a bad-looking run from Linda Wierzchewski and Marika Zandeka. At the top of the pile, Lara Nolta and Nela Skuten, last year's European champions, are leading the field. Lara finished in the silver medal position on Friday. To grab a 14th career gold here. Well, here's how they stack up. It's actually quite a spread out leaderboard, isn't it? Lauren Old 1600s ahead of Kim Kiki, and she in turn nearly that ahead of Bitz and Hassler. Then Alana Taylor is sort of all on her own, and then we get the log jam. Kaa Love, Brianna Walker, we have Yingqing, Bianca Ribi, Andrea Greku, and then Katy B ahead of Cynthia Appia, Linda Wierzchewski, and Victoria Chenanska. Unfortunately for them, Adele Nichel and Kaa Love will not get a second heat, but the others do. And you can join us at 11:35 local, that is 9:35 GMT, 04:35 Eastern. And that is in 55 minutes from now. We'll see you.
They only want to show us the start.